In Jewish culture, we are no stranger to plagues, like that which currently afflicts us. I read to you today from the book of Exodus, chapter 12. ויקרא משה לכל זקני ישראל, ויאמר עליהם, משכו וקחו לכם צאן למשפחותיכם, ושחטו הפסח, ולקחתם אגודת אזוב, וטבלתם בדם אשר בסף, והגעתם אל המשקוף ואל שתי המזוזות מן הדם אשר בסף, ואתם לא תצאו איש מפתח ביתו עד בוקר. ועבר יהווה לנגוף את מצרים, וראה את הדם על המשקוף ועל שתי המזוזות, ופסח יהווה על הפתח, ולא ייתן המשחית לבוא אל ביתכם. לנגוף ושמרתם את הדבר הזה לחוק לך ולבניך עד עולם. והיה כי תבוא אל הארץ אשר ייתן יהווה לכם, כאשר דיבר, ושמרתם את העבודה הזאת, והיה כי יאמרו עליכם בניכם, מה העבודה הזאת לכם? ואמרתם, זבח פסח הוא ליהווה, אשר פסח על ביתי בני ישראל במצרים, בנוגפו את מצרים. ואת בתינו הציל, ויקוד העם, וישתחוו, וילכו ויעשו בני ישראל, כאשר ציווה יהווה את משה ואת אהרון כן עשו. ויהי בחצי הלילה, ויהווה חיכה את כל בכור בארץ מצרים, מבכור פרעה היושב על כיסאו, עד בכור השבי אשר בבית הבור, וכל בכור בהמה. ויקום פרעה לילה, והוא וכל עבדיו וכל מצרים, ותהי צעקה גדולה במצרים, כי אין בית אשר אין שם מת. ויקרא למשה ולאהרון לילה, ויאמר קומו צאו מתוך עמי, גם אתם, גם בני ישראל, ולכו עבדו את אדוני כדברכם, גם צאנכם, גם בקרכם, קחו כאשר דיברתם, ולכו וברכתם גם אותי. Moses then summoned all the elders of Israel and said to them, Go, pick out lambs for your families and slaughter the Passover offering. Take a bunch of hyssop, dip it in the blood in the basin, and apply some of the blood in the basin to the lintel and the two doorposts. None of you shall go outside the door of his house until morning. For when Yahweh goes through to smite the Egyptians, he will see the blood on the lintel and the two doorposts, and Yahweh will pass over the door and not let the destroyer enter and strike your home. You shall observe this as an institution for all time, for you and for your descendants. When you enter the land that Yahweh will give you as he has promised, you shall observe this rite. And when your children ask you, what do you mean by this rite? You shall say, it is the Passover sacrifice to Yahweh, because he passed over the houses of the Israelites in Egypt when he struck the Egyptians, but saved our houses. The people then bowed low in homage. So the Israelites went and did so, just as Yahweh had commanded Moses and Aaron, so they did. In the middle of the night, Yahweh struck down all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sat on the throne to the firstborn of the captive who was in the dungeon, and all the firstborn of the cattle. Pharaoh arose in the night with all his courtiers and all the Egyptians, because there was a loud cry in Egypt, for there was no house where there was not someone dead. He summoned Moses and Aaron in the night and said, Up, leave from among my people, you and the Israelites with you. Go, worship Yahweh as you said. Take also your flocks and your herds as you said, and be gone, and may you bring a blessing upon me also. This story in Exodus is the quintessential divine plague. It is impossible that any natural cause would only kill the firstborn. It is impossible for the Egyptian priests, doctors, or gods to prevent it or to act in retribution. This plague is even beyond the ethics proclaimed later in the same Torah, that children should not be punished for their parents' sins. We know from earlier in Exodus that it is Pharaoh alone who prevents the Israelites from leaving. Even if ordinary Egyptians are implicated in a system of slavery, here their children die for their sins, from the firstborn of Pharaoh to the firstborn of the prisoner in the dungeon. The only solution to a divine plague is a divine ritual. Blood on the doorpost here sounds like something to be done for all time, not just this once. Imagine starting your Passover Seder with this action: blood on the door. The plagues we face today are different. Some plagues are human-created: pollution and its consequences, persecution and oppression, discrimination and disparity. Many plagues are human failures to respond to reality. We could feed and clothe and inoculate everyone, but barriers and breakdowns and indifference cause human suffering that could be avoided. Some plagues are unavoidable. Even with our best efforts, tragic losses, childhood cancers, earthquakes would still strike randomly without justice. Yet all of these real plagues that we face can be responded to by human action. We can comfort the afflicted. We can learn from the disaster. We can improve our choices by understanding their consequences. If we call out for help, let us call to each other, and let us be the ones who answer.